Yep.
Letchaknow.
Yes. Welcome to the Letchaknow podcast. I am EK. And of course, this is the Letchaknow podcast. And then, of course, we got NOOZ in the house.
What up, y'all? Appreciate y'all showing through. How
We
y'all
got
doing?
P. We got OG Purple P Pat in the house. What's going on with you?
Yes, sir. Let's get into it.
And then we got a special guest today, man. We want to introduce yourself, man. Let the people know who you is today.
My name is Jason Galindo. I am a high priest of Satan, and I am here to explain and talk about Satanism in the world today, and let you guys know what we're about.
All right. Go ahead, Pat. It's on you, man. Go ahead. I'll give you the floor now.
Yes, sir. So we got Jason Galindo tonight. We wanted to cover our topic this week is Satanism, and I wanted to have people know more about it because it seems that, when people think of Satanism, they only think, Baphomet and, blood sacrifices and rituals and things like that. And I kind of wanted to dig into more of it to give Satanism, a voice on the podcast to kind of explain itself. So our guest tonight is Jason Galindo. He is a high priest of the Satanic Temple with 25 years experience in the church. So Jason, go ahead and give us a little intro and kind of explain a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So that's partly inaccurate. I am not a high priest of the Temple of Satan. I am a high priest of the Black Synagogue of Satan. Yeah. But there it is. Our angel intentions. It's about individual spirituality, bro. It's pretty much do as you will. We do not aim to harm. There are no such thing as sacrifices. That's all bullshit. That's all movie stuff, bro. We don't sacrifice. We don't hurt kids. We don't do things of that nature. It's pretty much it's all about self-evolution and self-empowerment, bro. It's about advancing in your own spirituality your own way, and becoming your own God. And the purpose of Satanism is to self-evolve to become your own God, bro.
Okay.
And that's our ultimate aims and that's our ultimate intentions. They want to be themselves,
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So I got a couple questions to start off. A couple simple things.
Go ahead, Pat, because I was going to ask him a question. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Give me 1 second. We're going to start with the 7 fundamental tenets of Satanism. And on the first one, I got a question. So, there's some wordage in that. It says, the struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit. I'm on the second one. I'm sorry. One should serve to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. So a couple things in that. 2 things are the words strive and reason. So strive means you're going to try. It doesn't mean you should. And reason changes from the individual. So how is that tenet, applicable across all people if there's a lot of basically reading into that and, your understanding, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Your perceptions are understood. That tenet is not a tenet that applies to our branch of Satanism. That is one of the 7 tenets of the Temple of Satan. They're teaching, right? And yes, they say strive. You're tempted to be a good person. You're tempting to do right, and you're not here to harm. Unless someone tries to harm you, right? So you're striving to be good. You're striving to do as is appropriate, But sometimes the world is not always perfect, bro. It does not have to always, pan out that way, And but again, that's one of their teachings. It's not one of ours. And but I do. I just wanted to address that, and that's their thing.
Okay. Yeah. Let me roll over to Eric real quick. He's got a couple questions.
All right. What's up, Eric?
My bad. What's going on with you? So my question to you is the same question I was gonna ask. What made you get into Satanism? Like, well, you said you was telling us backstage that you said you had a dream. Can you elaborate on that for us?
I was raised Jehovah's Witness. I ardently studied the Bible when I was young, rather than going out playing with kids. I'm at home playing reading the Bible. I'm doing everything. I used to go to church with a three-piece suit, all that good stuff. There was a point in my life where things were shown to me, and you know, and I had dreams, and I was directed to change my aspect of what I was doing, right? So I went that in 2001. I knelt down and I called on Satan. I gave my life to him. I told him I would serve him. This was my purpose, and that is the road I have been on since 2001, bro. There were dreams where kind of like testing me, coming to go either or, because there are Satanists call orders that do not acknowledge Satan as a conscious entity.
Right.
However, those teachings are false. Satan exists as a conscious entity, people. Those teachings were initiated by Anton LaVey in 1966. He did his job. He brought Satan out of the closet, so to speak. He put Satanism on the world stage. People were brought into Satanism that otherwise would not have been, thanks to that man's teachings and I'll say persuasion. You know, however, times are changing now. We are more theistic. The teachings are changing, and Satan exists as a conscious entity. And some of us are called to serve him, to do his will, bro. It is not evil, however. We're spiritual men. We our job is self divinity. Our purpose is self evolution, and we follow the teachings that were given to us in order to get us to be our own gods, bro. And which was the promise that was made by saying, when he said, "Ye shall be as gods," right? And so we are abiding by that promise, and we are accepting it, and we are making our life to abide by that teaching. And also, once we accomplish our self evolution, or which one better people, we attempt to help others around us. And there's nothing there's nothing ominous, evil, or destructive about it, bro. That's just it's just a different religion, and we always get bad stereotypes. It just
Well,
All right. So yeah, so Jason, let me ask you then. So why do people feel like that is bad or demonic to preach Satanism?
because that's what they have been that's what they have been raised to understand. That is the indoctrination in our country and abroad. That's what they were taught. Satan's evil. The devil wants to kill, destroy, and ruin. But this is not true, bro. It's
Well,
just different religion. It's somewhat modified. It's different teachings than
okay, let
probably
me
what you're.
share some of your teachings. How are you today, sir?
Hello,
I
who's
see.
this?
This is
This is
Ski.
Ski.
How are you today, sir?
See, I'm good.
I
I'm
was
very
just wanting
good.
to know what do you uh where how do you get the connection, and how what do you I mean what are you reading, like, when you said it's a that's how people been raised and stuff like that. I give you that, yes and no, but in the same time you could just give me a little more, because I don't want to like bash it or anything, but
Right.
I just would like to know, like, what books do you read that give
Where
you
where where to get
this,
where to get
this
information? Okay, okay.
information, and like like when you
I
said
got
be
you.
self-evolution and stuff like that, and being your own God. I mean, if you can just expound on that and just kind of give me a more pretext of where you're getting this information from, that's telling you that this is the plan that you're supposed to be doing. And like, I would like to be able to look that up and see that
I
type of
bet.
information.
Okay, cool. Okay. So first of all, some of the stuff that I'm telling you is not random books. Is Most of it is taught to higher level initiates. It is not put on to the public, but the time is for that to happen. I am a mystic, and every religion has mystics, right? So yeah, yeah. Islam has the Sufis. Yeah. Judaism has the Kabbalah. Every religion has their mystics. Now, what is a mystic? A mystic is one who experiences spiritual experiences and does not adhere to doctrine. Doctrine serves as a roadmap. We do not adhere to that. We do not believe what we are told. We believe what we experience by personal experience. It's part of our meditations. It's part of what we do, and that's part of being a mystic. I am a satanic mystic. I'm a black magus. I've practiced for 25 years. I've been doing this for a very long time. And part of my teachings is, don't believe what we tell you, do this and you shall see. And they show us. And so a lot of the teachings, what I put in my book and what I've been expounded upon, to the greater nation and around the world is we do not follow sacred texts because sacred texts have been altered out of greed and or ignorance, and we do not adhere to those because they have been manipulated, and so we're just like, meditate, practice, and see for yourself. If it works, it works. And that's how we evolve. That's part of our training.
I got a question.
I got a question.
Okay, go ahead,
Jump in with a question.
Fire in the hole.
Go ahead.
First of all, I want to ask you, how's my t-shirt look, Jason? How am I looking over here, Jason? Am I looking good?
Oh yeah, I like that t-shirt, bro.
Thank you, thank you, man.
I appreciate you spoiling the name, bro. That's good
I
stuff.
want you to feel comfortable.
What the
Nobody
what the fuck? Hold on. Where the fuck you get that shirt from, man? Where the hell you get that shirt from?
I
gas
appreciate
station.
it. It's good shit.
I think it's fire. I think it's dope.
I think it's
Well,
dope.
listen,
Yeah,
my question for Mr. Jason is, can you help us understand the difference between like Satanism and Luciferianism and all that? Like, what's the difference in all those?
That was my question too.
Okay, good question. Okay, so you have Satan and Luciferian because you have two names, Satan and Lucifer. Satan is a name that's supposed to be more for power. Lucifer is more for knowledge and wisdom and guidance. They both have the same entity, but we are taught to pray to one name or the other for particular aspects, or for particular acquisition of particular things. As I said, Satan for power, Lucifer for wisdom and guidance. To open your mind and enlightenment. So that's probably the power and enlightenment between the two. Luciferianism is very similar to Satanism. It's a very nuanced thing. It's a very nuanced order. There is not very much difference other than they acknowledge Lucifer as a god of enlightenment, and their sects of Satanism that acknowledge Satan as just power.
Okay.
You guys take an offering? You guys collect an offering?
I'm sorry?
You guys collect the offering at your church, your place of gatherings. You guys like have an order, deacons and pastors, and you guys collect an offering every Sunday or like first Sunday. Do you have that?
So my order, there are no physical temples or buildings which bear a name. I teach that every individual is a temple. And is a walking temple. Each Satanist in our order is a walking temple, and they are the walking church. There are no buildings, there are no offerings, there are no holy days, there are no Sunday worship. Every individual that dedicates himself
so there's no monetary part of the Satanist.
Everything's free. I do everything for free. I do not ask for monetary compensation. I offer our teachings for free, and my motto in my ordination when I was younger is never for myself. I do nothing for myself.
I have a question. So is it positive, uplifting? Like if you was to like give me some encouragement, like how would that look? You know what I'm saying? Like so if I'm like having a down day and my spirits is low and I had a rough day today, what would be something encouraging or some words of wisdom that you could give to me to make me maybe have a better day, or get my energy back calm, or something like that? What is encouragement look like? Like, what are the words? Because language is important. So
very important.
What would be like something that would be like encouraging or uplifting that you would say to someone that's like maybe having a bad day or just having a hard time, I guess, in life at the moment?
Satanism has changed my life. I've been practicing this for 25 years. It has changed my life. It's religion where survival of the fittest, where you must strive as one of the tenets of the Temple of Satan. You must strive to become something else. There is no one that can do it but yourself. You are alone in this life, and so that instills power in you, right? So once you realize that you are alone and there's no one that's going to help you, you stand alone, and this breeds strength and power. All adversity and the vicissitudes of life make you a stronger individual because you stand alone and you face all obstacles. You do not care. You do not pray for forgiveness. You just make it happen. And each individual has the power within their soul to change their lives. Do they so choose it? as long as they think positively and that their consciousness makes shit happen. That's part of how our rituals work. If you believe, it will happen. If you do the work, and you make it happen for yourself, not begging anyone else, not asking anybody else, you're just gonna do it yourself, right? And so that's power, and that's affirmation, and and that in itself is comforting because you succeed by your own will and your own power, and not asking anyone else for assistance.
So okay, so is that the difference between studying well, you know, you want to be with God and then you want to be with Satan. So what's the difference? Because it seemed like it's pretty much the same to me, but the only difference is that you're choosing Satanism and most
Different
people
gods,
choose
right?
God.
Okay, so also part of what I put in my book and part of what I'm saying is not generally published, but our teachings have somewhat changed, and we are now making these things publicly known. The training for a satanic mystic or a Christian mystic is the same until you get to a certain point. And once you get to a certain point, you must choose you right or left, and you go right or left. As mystics, our training is completely identical. And so there's not a whole lot of difference in what we do. It's just different entities. Just like with white and black magic, the two differentiation between white and black magic is that the different entities called upon. They either or could be used to harm or kill. They're white or black based on the forces which are called upon in order to initiate those sequences of events, right? And so that mentioned white or black. It's demons or angels, right? And so again, their training is essentially the same as ours. Once you get to a certain point, however, you must choose.
The key word is training. What kind of training are y'all doing?
So our of the higher orders, our training is deep meditation, and it is intentional merging with an entity either from hell or heaven, depending on which side you're on. They're Christian mystics. I know Christian mystics. They also they call upon the force of heaven and unite with them. Now, part of the training entails that you must call forces from whichever faction, if you will, that you're calling, and they must merge with your body, soul, and spirit, and that is how you acquire power. And the stronger they are, the more your third eye opens and your consciousness opens, and that's how we train.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got a couple things going on here. So one, I want to expand on what Eric was talking about with all the training and things like that. Where do these come from? Where do you talk about you're trained to be a mystic. Where do like the arts come from? Is this something that was developed when Anton LaVey was the head of the church, or does this go back to all the way like Aleister Crowley and his magic and things like that? Or
This is neither or. Because again, most of this is not generally published to the public. Some of what Aleister Crowley taught it applies. Like he had a ritual called on Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is devotional love. Devotional love is you're calling upon a God, entity, spirit, whatever, to unite with it to absorb his powers. That's partially what we do. So and I forget the name of the exact ritual. I think it was Liber Astartes, if I recall correctly. And Liber Astartes was what Aleister Crowley wrote a bunch of books, and the purpose of which for Liber Astartes was to absorb the powers of a demonic entity or otherwise to absorb his power and gain his consciousness. That's his part of our training, right? So so I would say lean more towards Aleister Crowley. Anton LaVey, his philosophy was very good. He did a very good job especially Satanism. He brought Satan out of the closet, if you will. But some of his teachings were incorrect. I do not agree with them. However, his teachings on satanic magic were spot on, and that was good shit, bro. If you do those rituals that he espoused in his book, they work, bro. However, there are aspects of his philosophy that I don't agree with, such as Satan is an impersonal force that does not exist as a conscious entity. This is not true, and I am here to address that, and that's what one of our new teachings for the new generation that we're trying to make known.
Okay. I do want to expand on one thing. A lot of people have heard of the name Aleister Crowley, at least through Ozzy Osbourne,
Right.
But a lot of people don't know really who he was or what he was about. Would you like to basically expand on that and tell us a little bit more about Aleister Crowley and about the magic that he created and things like that?
Sure. Okay, so Aleister Crowley, he was an occultist. He practiced ritual magic. He read tarot cards, things like that. So in 1904 is when he was given a mission, according to him, so to speak. He established once you get to a certain, because there are 10 degrees of initiation. There are 10 degrees of initiation. Once you reach 8th degree or 9th degree, you establish communication with these forces, and you speak to them. You speak to them slow. You speak to them personally. He established communication as a 8th degree master of the temple, right? For us, that corresponds to a 8th degree Satanic master. A Satanic master has communication with Satan. So he established communication in 1904. He was dictated through his guard, because all of us are given guardians, all of us are given guides to work with. They instruct us, they lead us, and his guy was I was, if I'm pronouncing him correctly, it's been a while. I was his guide, and so I was a short period 1904 while Aleister Crowley was in Egypt, and communicated him to the Book of the Law. The Book of the Law was very encryptic. It was very short. It was 3 chapters. Each chapter was spoken by a particular entity. One is love, one is war, one is was essentially peace, right? And
Yeah.
so he wrote the book down, and he may not have properly interpreted all of the teachings that the books again, because when spirits speak, they speak very encryptically. Sometimes you don't always know what they're saying, bro. They will say something, and it's like, like, what the fuck did you say? They give you numbers. They say words that do not fucking make grammatical sense, syntactically or otherwise. And so you got to try to sift through and figure out what the fuck they're saying. Part of my language. So in 1904, when the Book of the Law was communicated, he transcribed this. He transcribed this book. It's still in print today. There are photocopies of his original writing. There are and it says what the Book of the Law was, and it was the teaching he was given was was dilemma, which is partly Egyptian, partly Greek. Dilemma means will, and so he was told to push that beliefs. And so he followed that. He remember the Golden Dawn,
Yeah.
when he first started out, and so that's he started his road to initiation. Because the Golden Dawn does have some very good rituals. They have some very good teachings, and there are a lot of famous people from his time that started with that order, and he was one of the first ones. And so that's how he started, and he did make a very good tarot card deck. And it's probably one of the best ones I know of. And he was an intelligent man, but some of the teaching again, I did not agree with. He was he's more sex than sex magic and stuff that he should not, as a preacher, he should not be indulging in.
Yeah. All right.
Can I
Yeah.
ask
Yeah.
a
Go ahead.
question real quick? Like when it comes, because you seem knowledgeable. That's one thing I will give you over most Christians. Well, they can't give you no dates and no, you know what I'm saying. So you sound real knowledgeable, but I'm trying to figure out, like, is there an extremist? Because we see all these
I can barely hear.
visuals and look like goat heads and
Yeah, I'm trying to hear too.
face paint and all that.
Red,
You know what I'm saying? So is
red
there
pill.
like a different? What's happening?
There you go. We couldn't
Yeah.
hear you at
We
first.
couldn't hear you.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's
Oh,
better, bro.
okay, my fault. Nah, as far as like when it comes to Satanism, is it like there's an extremist part and then there's like just a regular everyday, like you wouldn't even know they was on that type time.
There are different
I don't know.
branches. There are different branches of Satanism. We have no sacred text because we have no people. Um, again, the high orders are mystics. We are taught not to adhere to text. We are taught to adhere to those which whom we become in communication with, right? And so different orders have different teachings for different purposes. Like anti-LaVey, atheistic Satanism. Atheistic Satanism is non-existent. It should be ended with. There's some fallacious teachings there, and I will attempt to address that. You know, the Temple of Satan, they have good teachings. Like their seven satanic tenets, they are good teachings. It's essentially you're trying to be an upstanding citizen. You're trying to strive to be better. You're trying to help your fellow man. You're not doing anything unto anybody unless done unto yourself. In other words, defend yourself, right? These are
Right.
good teachings. These are good teachings, bro. You know, and
I agree. I agree. That's on the real. That's kind of why I wanted you on this show, because I did my own research a little while back, and when I was reading, I was like, yo, this ain't as bad as what people make it seem like. It's more about self improvement and like you said, more about self. When in Christianity is more about not saying either are wrong, but I feel like Christianity is more in like faith, and like you said, God. People get a job, and well, God did it. God did it. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you give yourself the credit? You're the one that went and applied for the application. You're the one that you know. I mean, you did all the work to get the job. Why would you give it to somebody that you haven't even that didn't do it?
And that's a major part, bro. It's about making it happen for yourself, and so that's where we acquire strength and power and assertion in our endeavors, because we are taught that no one has your back except yourself. And if you accomplish what you're set to do, then dude, that is a very big ego boost, bro. And you know, it'll make your life better. It has changed my life. I've been practicing for 25 years. Satanism had changed my life, bro. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. I know the Bible extensively. I've studied every major religion on this planet, and it has changed my life, bro.
When you say it changed your life, you mean that just like the way you think mentally, or like health wise, like all the way around changed your life, or just certain aspects of your life?
I would say mentally, my attitude, you know, fucking, because I see that no one would do it for me. I stand alone. It was my decision to appear on the show alone. You know, it's part of our teachings that you must be a man or a woman, and it's part, you know, and do your shit yourself. Is basically part of my language. You know, and so it's given me strength and assertiveness, and you know, it's. Every vicissitude that has transpired upon my life, or one of our saying this, serves only to make us stronger. Every obstacle that comes in life. I just broke my leg a couple months ago. My leg snapped off. I was in a car accident. That only made me stronger. I forced myself to walk again. I disposed of a walker within 2 weeks. I was back on my feet. My whole leg broke off, bro. The only thing holding on was skinny meat, you know. And in 2 weeks, I said, "Nah, fuck this. I'm sorry. Pardon my language. I'm getting up. I'm doing it. We're doing this. This rock." And in 2 weeks, I was back on my feet, bro. And that's part of Satanism, and that is our part of our intention to make everyone stand for themselves, bro. And it's bad shit, bro.
Well, you said you was a Jehovah Witness, right? You said you used to be a Jehovah Witness.
Oh,
so what you say? I know you said you have visions, but being a Jehovah Witness, like that didn't serve you enough to where you decided you wanted to be in Satanism.
It did not. Their knowledge is superficial. I have an uncle who was the elder in the congregation. He's an Jehovah's Witness. You know, the majority of my mom's side of the family are Jehovah's Witnesses. They read the Bible and study it like the back of their hand. However, they did not know how to interpret the text. Again, I would say text that there is hidden information in the text, because the texts were written by mystics. Mystics do not care about text. They adhere to what they experience. And they wrote some of those experiences in these sacred texts. And these Jehovah's Witnesses, they're taking the extra text information as literal, but it's parable, it's metaphor. It's not to be taken literal, you know, and so they're misinterpreting something that's right there, right? And they're taking it literally for the word, but that's not what it was written for, right? And so their teachings are somewhat misguided, I would say, and yeah, they veered off to the side too much.
Well, let me ask you this. Before somebody else jump in. I just want to ask this one question.
You're good, Eric.
Before you jump in, Pete.
Fine,
I just want to know. So what teachings from your Jehovah Witness teachings that you said that wasn't right for you to be in that religion?
It's okay. So for one thing, if you are not a Jehovah's Witness and your family's Jehovah's Witness, they will shun you. They'll exile you unless you join them. They're kind of like Scientology. Scientology is a very cool religion as well. You know, and they will shun you from your family. I have not seen my uncle, who is out in the congregation, in 20 some years because he would not see me. I attempted to visit him recently a few years ago, and he would not see me. He don't mean we know where he lived at. I'm like, you are my uncle. I love you. You're the brother of my mother who passed away a few years ago. I want to see my family, but he would not see me because I am not a Jehovah's Witness, and that's
Wow.
erroneous teaching. Those Jehovah's Witnesses were founded in the 1800s by I think Russell Tussle or something. I forget his name, but they're founded in 1800s. He was a Freemason, and their teachings are erroneous, and they're superficial, and they adhere to the exoteric side of the scriptures when there is an esoteric side to the scriptures that of which they do not understand or can comprehend to decipher.
So yeah, that was my point that I was going to piggyback off of. Is it seems a lot of, you know, things that happen, let's say in the name of Christianity or something like that, terrorist attacks or things throughout history, it always comes with misinterpretation. Like you got the Klan, you got the Jehovah's Witnesses, then you got the Mormons who created their own fucking Bible in a hat. Like it's, when you're talking about like you don't use doctrine and you don't use text, to me, you know, with Christianity and things, yes, that can become problematic because people can interpret it any way they want to. But if you don't have any standard text in Satanism, what's to stop someone or multiple people or everybody from having a completely different view on Satanism and how to apply it in their life, you know, how they interpret it? Because it doesn't seem like there's any kind of structure at all.
That like I said, each order has their individual teachings, which not applicable to all. Like the Satanic Bible has the 9 satanic statements. The Temple of Satan has the 7 tenets. But there are principles of behavior by which we must abide, and these are the teachings which I am espousing in the writings that I instructed to write, which are acceptance, which are independence, which are self-evolution, self-empowerment, wisdom, and those are 5 points of Satanism as we are taught to make our members better, productive members of society, bro. You know, okay. So a fault of Evangeline LaVey in 1966 when he wrote the Satanic Bible was he said indulgence instead of abstinence. However, that just gave people free license to get high, get drunk, and you know, and just fuck their lifestyle, bro. There should be moderation. There should be moderation. I think we teach stoicism. We teach aspects of bodhisattva dharma. You know, compassion, enlightenment, and helping all those who deserve helping. You know, and the indulgence instead of abstinence. The indulgence of abstinence was off key. It was you know, it led out people to probably, you know, become drug addicts or whatever, you know, but we're trying to change that, and it really, we're just trying to create more protected members of society, more spiritual members of society, self-evolved, who become their own gods and constructive and powerful for themselves and stand alone, bro. And that's part of our main tenets and teachings.
Go ahead, excuse me, what you gotta say?
I just want to say, kind of go off what I want to piggyback off what Pat said a little bit in the sense of like just structure, but I want to go back to when you said, you know, the entities and the stuff and the connections and the communications with the, you know, there's really not no doctrine, there's really not a set, you know, text or anything of that nature, which is, you know, kind of understandable, I guess, to a certain extent, because I believe in structure when it comes to those.
Why is it understandable? Why is it understandable to you?
Well, I mean, because I believe, because I have faith, and I believe that sometimes you have discernment. You know what I'm saying? I understand that, you know, you do get premonition about something. So like, you know what I mean? So that's why I say it's understandable to me. But what I'm saying is like, how, since there's no real structure, there's no text, and it's only in the sense of like you said, they communicate and talk to different, you know, entities or, you know, connections or, you know, that higher level of consciousness or whatever. How do they know they're connecting to the right source, or that's the right, you know, entity, or the right, you know,
higher,
you know,
right? Higher.
I just want to know like how, you know, because there's no structure, there's no standard operating practices to kind of like check in the box. So like, how do you know like the thing that you're connected with. Like if you are doing a calling or anything that you know, anything to seance or whatever to, you know, enter to that space, you know, how do you know you're entering to the proper space if there's no like kind of, you know, like no structure, no way to determine this is it, or this is, you know, that entity, you know what I'm saying? How do you determine that?
So I understand what you're saying. In all satanic orders, it doesn't matter their teaching, whether the traditional Satanists, whether they're atheistic, whether they're theistic, whether they believe in demonology, which is demon worship. All orders, higher order initiates, are given different teachings than the ones at the beginning levels. The all those who are initiated and study the Satanic Bible, as they progress to their grades, they're given different teachings. At some point, the teachings become more consistent, and part of that teaching is that you know, this you're talking to, you will see them, you will hear them. My teachings and my writings, you will become in communication and cognizant of these entities. You will see them. I send spirits to my initiates. They describe to me what they look like. I describe to them back what they look like to verify that they have seen the ones that I have sent them, and it is all verified back and back forth, right? So again, all higher level initiates are given different teachings than those are given on Facebook and fucking you know, them little basic fucking pages. We're taught differently, and we are now that we have been given we have been given instructions to change the teachings which have been given, and that's what my attempt and my endeavor upon this life is to do.
Okay. I let me interject you because this is very interesting on what you're bringing up. So you're aware, of course, of that shooting at the Catholic school in Boston a couple weeks ago, right?
I really don't watch TV much. I did hear something about it vaguely earlier today.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll explain it real quick.
yeah.
So a trans kid went back to the school that he grew up in and shot it up, killed a couple of kids and things like that. When they looked at his videos and things like that, it seems like he was dealing with demonic possession. A lot of his drawings and a lot of his writings were, you know, cryptic, and he was drawing a lot of things that like indicated possession. So my question is, you know, he's not part of the Satanic Temple, of course, but
Nor am I.
right, I understand that. But still, he was influenced, it seems, by Satan. Do you consider what he did, you know, in line with Satanic principles? Because, I mean, if according to us, you know, Satan is a deceiver. Did he deceive this kid into committing acts? Because it doesn't seem like what you call Satanism is what a lot of people view it as, which is, you know, demonic possession, people doing wrong things and doing bad things, things like that.
Okay. So intentional demonic possession is part of our teaching. It's for a higher level initiate, we intentionally become possessed. However, we do not see them as evil entities. They're guides and teachers, right? And they assist us. There are plenty of demons and entities out there that will influence for good or no different individuals if their mind is weak. So part of the teaching that we have is that we first check on a potential initiate. Is he worthy to train? How much can he handle? You know, and they tell us what he can handle, how much, you know, the force of entity that he can take. Because if it's too much for the individual, they may go insane. It may be too much for them, and they may just do what just happened, right? But that is not our fault. Is because that particular consciousness is not capable of handling the forces of which he was communicating with, and
it's almost like a spiritual overdose or something, right? Is what it sounds like.
yeah, it's like a spiritual overdose. That's a good analogy. You know, thank you for the wording, but yeah, that's how it is. That's exactly how it is, bro. And I was looking at it because you know, there are good demons, there are bad demons, you know, and however, not only demons kill, there are angels. There are angels that will kill. Are they so commanded? Because there are rituals.
Maybe I should have said a demonic instead of spiritual.
Well, I say angelic. I'm just saying. I'm saying those entities are capable of the same vicious acts. You know, it's just that, you know, it's like you're talking to anybody. You know, fucking some people are good, some people are bad. same thing with demons, same thing with angels. You know, there are some that would try to influence you, you know, to do acts of whatever, you know, and but you know, you have to be stronger. You have to control them. The purpose of our teaching is it become strong and to control them and acquire their power and use it to better your own life. But you must master them because if you get a spiritual overdose, you know, you might go psycho and you might go on a
That's when,
rampage.
like you said,
So
that's when things happen
wait,
and
Jason,
really
hold
bad things happen.
on,
All
Jason.
right, bro.
So you saying it's important for y'all to get possessed so certain things won't happen to you?
No. Part of our training is intentional demonic possession. I know the methods for this. As mystics, we unite with spiritual entities to acquire their consciousnesses, their perceptions, and the stronger the entity with which you work, you start seeing more, right? And
Is this like is that considered like Ouija board stuff like that, or is that just?
I mean, okay, so that's starter stuff, right? So starter stuff is you some like a pendulum board or Ouija board to establish communication with these entities because you cannot work with one unless it must choose you. You can't because I mean because like there's a in demonology, which is demon worship, there are sects that say you know pick a patron god and worship it and pray to it and that's gonna be power. That is not how it works. The demon must choose you. In order for you to find out which demon chooses you, you must establish communication. You must establish communications with their realms. The name will be given, and then you call it, and then it will give you its power. And if you are not strong enough to take that power, you may go crazy. But that is part of our life. Part of our training.
Wait. You can't just pass that up. You said going crazy. Like what you mean? Like give us some examples how people when it doesn't work very well. What you mean by going crazy?
Like as Pat just mentioned, dude doing the school shooting with satanic imagery and all that stuff. He was potentially messing with things, forces that he cannot control, and you know because they will try to influence your thoughts. It happens both, but heaven or hell. The more you communicate with these entities, they will attempt to influence your consciousness, and you know you have to control it and know right from wrong, bro. And some people just go insane. It's happened before. It will happen again.
I
Sounds like
got
playing the Bible.
hey Red, you still there, Red? You got
Yeah,
any questions over there, Red? You got anything you want to ask?
yeah. I'm curious because things like that, like people do bad things in the name of God all the time. You know what I mean? So it's like when somebody goes on this whatever, like a mass shooting or like you know what I mean? What happened today with Charlie Kirk, and he get caught up, and he's like, well, these spirits possessed me. He might say he was Christian. He might say he was Muslim. I think they ended up finding out he was Muslim. But
That makes sense.
I think that at the end of the day, it's like when you tie it to that, that's why I asked him earlier, is there extremists? You know what I'm saying? Now we're talking about being possessed. You know what I mean? So I don't, you can't jump down the throat of the whole religion. And that's why, because I ain't gonna lie. What bro's saying, I like what he's saying. I like to say, and then I've talked to Satanists, I've talked to atheists, and very, very seldomly do you meet a bad person that is a Satanist or atheist. Like they got core values. It's not they don't have to have 10 commandments. They don't have to have the law of a book, and half of them can't even quote nothing in the book, no way, but they favors John 3:16 and Jesus wept. You know what I'm saying? I give it to a lot of Muslims. They got a more of a structure, but this type of standing out on your shit and then being accountable. The whole religion sounds like accountable. I'm not praying for sins. I mean, I'm not praying for my like asking for forgiveness. I'm gonna just go out here and do right, and if I don't, that's what it is.
And part of one of the satanic statements of the Church of Satan, again, there are some good teachings that they have that there's some are not, and one of them is responsibility to the responsible. Be responsible for those who are responsible. So there are civil aspects to serve your fellow man. Some of the teachings are if someone slaps you on one cheek, slap them on the other. Don't take what someone gives you. It's basically the law of lex talionis. Lex talionis is law of the claw. The law of the claw is you hit me, I'm gonna hit you, bro. And so that's part of the lex talionis is one of the teachings that Anton LaVey he pushed. So it's basically just defense. You know, I will leave you alone, but if you attack me, I will attack you tenfold, and you will pay for what you have done. And so that's partially.
Let me ask you this, Jason. This I want to know, how is it when it comes to the pussy? When it comes to Satanist pussy, is it any better than just like regular pussy?
They're freaky, bro.
They're freaky.
They're freaky, bro. They're doing it. They're doing it.
And you also said you've been in it 25 years, so I wanted to know,
25 years, sir.
How what do you see any people that look like me in that community? Do you see a lot of black people, or is it usually just mostly white people or other cultures or races?
All races, bro. Part of our principles, one of our principles is acceptance, individualism and acceptance. The two combined equal wisdom, because wisdom is the knowledge that you exist and that someone else exists, and exist both your existences. And you see a certain reality, and that's wisdom, bro. Once you understand that we're all part of the same, we're all drops of water in the same bucket, bro. And that is an aspect of wisdom. And one of our principles is acceptance of all people, of all races, bro. So long as they do not harm the innocent, and so long as they attempt to self-evolve and become positive members of society.
All right, we got somebody new on there. We got somebody. I'm not. Child of God, thanks for coming on. Any questions that you might have had for our guest Jason?
Lots of questions.
Fire away.
Okay, they muted right now. Maybe they're getting themselves together, but maybe they'll come on later. I'm not sure. But
okay.
Let me go back to something real quick then. So I know you're saying, when you're talking about Satanism, your brand of Satanism, advocates for being, self-control and nonviolence and things like that. But we keep coming back to the fact that it has no structure. So your Satanism could be completely different from this guy's Satanism, completely different from this guy's Satanism. And since you're saying it's involved with demonic possession, you don't know what each person is being told by different demons. So how is it, when I talk about the Satanism or the demonic possession up in Boston, or we can talk about, maybe Charlie Manson and things like that. How is that not part of Satanism? Because it seems like Satanism has a different meaning almost to everybody. You have the, general tenets and things that you want to talk about. But when you're talking about demonic possession, I mean, you can't control what they do. And most of the time they're not possessing you just so they can make you better at math or something like that, or make you a better, talker in public. So I just want to know, how do you discount things that happen with possession and Satanism because they're not your brand of Satanism?
Gotcha. Again, demons are somewhat like people. Some are good, some are bad. And if an individual is messing with powers and forces, entities that he or she cannot handle, they may become, they may become possessed and over influenced by the entities of which they call. So, and before we start training of an initiate, we ascertain what he or she can handle, what percent they can surrender their flesh, and then we do it, right?
How do you gauge that? How do you gauge what they can handle?
We are told.
You're told?
We are told by again, we have our own guides, and we can have conversations with these entities as individual personages, non-personal forces, and they inform us of what must be done to teach our initiates.
I got a question, Jason.
Yes,
So
sir.
growing up, when you was younger, was you ever bullied or teased when you was a kid or growing up in high school?
I was a bookworm, bro. I was a bookworm. I was not bullied. Everyone has a couple confrontations in elementary school, whatever. I was not bullied. I maybe once or twice. Had a couple confrontations. Who does not? But I was a bookworm, bro. I preferred reading and studying, and to playing reindeer games with the kids outside, bro. And that's what I did.
I think it's kind of crazy, like you stated earlier, like how your uncle is a
He's out
Jehovah's
of migration.
And like you said, he wouldn't let you come over and be with your family just because of the religion you choose. And like
he would not.
Every other religion, we always tell people, don't judge someone off their religion. But when it comes to Satanism, I feel like they're judged way different than every other religion for whatever reason.
Well, I know because we always get the short end of the stick. It says, "Oh, Satan's evil. His aim is death and destruction. There are no good teachings in his religion. Shun them and do not associate with them." So it's like with the Old Testament, bro. So in the ancient Hebrews, they destroyed the Canaanites, the Moabites, a number of peoples. They exterminated them so as not to be influenced by their beliefs, although their beliefs were benign and nonviolent. And the way that God is, his behavior is exhibited is by seeing his people, and it has been laid bare whose people have been the massacres, who have been destroying since the last 2,000 years, and they're doing this today. They're still assassinating the fucking Palestinians, and it's wrong, bro. It's wrong. But that is part of their teaching because that's how their God is, bro.
So you attribute a lot of the past atrocities, like Hebrews in general, Jewish people.
Yes. Again, the nature of a God is exhibited in the behaviors of his followers, and history has laid bare who have been the real racists and who have been who have been the real destroyers of innocent people. And there they are, bro. There have been national papers written on since the early 2000s of the assaults that the Israeli people have had on the Palestinians, bro. And it has been declared that they have attempted to establish a state of apartheid, and where they have the Palestinians in servitude, and they push around, So what happened in 2007? What happened, a few years ago, bro? These men, they were not trying to assassinate, for no reason. What were their demands, bro? Their demands were the release of their daughters, their wives, and their children from Palestine, from Israeli prisons, because they had been held for years illegally against their will because they did not bow down to their Israeli masters, bro. And that's real talk, bro. And that's what happened, and that's why that war was kicked off. And there's been times where there's been Israeli men. I'll mention one's name. He once said, for every Israeli killed, we would kill 5,000 fucking Palestinians. And it is a quote. I will find his name, and so that is their teaching. And it's bad stuff, bro. It is wrong. I disagree with it, but that's why the war over there has begun, and it will not stop because they will attempt to destroy all those who have fought against them when they are the real racists, bro. They've been crying for the last 50, 70 years over what happened to 6 million of their ancestors when they have killed plenty of themselves, and they have initiated wars against innocent people, saying we're not racist, we love every. That is both bunch of bullshit, bro. They're the biggest racists on this planet, bro.
So wouldn't you say, when you're talking about that, wouldn't you have to say that Islam is doing the exact same thing right now, though? Because Islam is conquering Europe right now without a shot being fired. They almost got the UK in the palm of their hand. France is gone. Belgium is gone. Germany is gone. It seems like if you want to talk about the Jews, with all their hatred and things like that, then you got to talk about their adversary too, because it seems like they're both in the same basket here.
You are correct. So Islam did not spread by the truth of Allah. Islam was spread by the scimitar, bro. The scimitar was spread Islam upon Europe. And it was not love, knowledge, or that may become cognizant to people. It was do or die. I would chop your head off or accept my religion, and that is exactly how Islam is spread. And you're quite correct. There are extremist groups in Islam who practice jihad. Jihad is not specifically in the Quran. I have studied the Quran. It's not specifically in there. However, it is somewhat mentioned. There is a verse in the Quran. I forget what chapter it's from, but it says to attack and destroy those that are disbelievers.
Yes.
it said destroy. If they don't believe, attack them. There are plenty instances where it does not give explicit commands to attack. However, they say the unbelievers will be killed, they will burn, we'll tear their skin off, we'll bring back to life so we can burn them again. It is a vicious book, bro. It is not love, but again, no, Islam is bad. No, Islam is bad, bro. There are some groups who take the extreme view, who like for instance, catch on to that one verse that said, attack those disbelievers, and that's excuse for jihad, right? But then there are verses in the Quran, however, that are 11 verses, and most adhere to those verses. So they're not bad people, bro. And those are some of the Palestinians and the descendants of the ancient Canaanites.
I got a question for you. This is a 2-part question for you, Jason. So when you were saying you never been bullied, I want to give you an example of you saying no, because if you think about what you were saying,
we try to say, we try to say.
No, because no, hold on, hold on.
I'm
I'm about to explain myself.
Past grievances. I'm actually not because of past grievances.
No. I'm just trying because I'm actually listening to you and I'm taking heed to what you're saying, right? So when you were saying as far as you and your uncle, as far as getting into it, by him not wanting to be in your religion, do you think?
Okay.
Do you think that's bullying? And then for 2, my second part question is that how do your family feel about you practicing Satanism? Like, do they accept it? Are they with you with it? Are they against you?
Gotcha. Okay, so my uncle, I was not attempting to get him to accept my religion. I attempted. I did not proselytize. I did not attempt to make converts. If you want to do what I'm saying, I would teach you. However, I was in Bakersfield. My uncle lives in Bakersfield. He's a elder in the congregation of the Kingdom Lodge. I was witnesses. I only want to see my family because my mom passed away. I've not seen my my mom's side of the family for a very long time. I was trying to visit. I was not trying to change them, but he did not want to see me because I was not Jehovah's Witness, and that is a very important aspect and a wrong aspect of the religion, bro. If you're not Jehovah's Witness, they will exile you. They will, they will kick you out of the congregation if you mess up, whatever. If you not adhere to their teachings, even though their teachings are based on exoteric teachings of the Bible, which they don't even freaking understand. So you have you guys every Sunday and whatever. They're reading text that the understanding of which they themselves don't understand. So they're exoteric right words, and they're basing their faith on this, and they're banning their own family because their verses in the Bible say not to associate with non-believers. What's also the Quran, because the Quran is partly based on the Bible. The Quran was written by Muhammad in the 600s. He first studied the Bible under the behest of a Nectarian Christian monk, which most people do not know, and that's where he gained a certain level or attitude of his knowledge of Christian Bible, right? So a lot of his stories in the Quran are rehashings of those told in the Bible as he remembered it. And so to answer your second question, my family accepts me. They know I'm a good man. I'm the only saying this to my family. Most of the family they're Christian.
And shouldn't that be the only thing that matters? Shouldn't that be the only thing that matters is that you're a good person?
That's not matters, bro. I always tell them, regardless of what you think I am, regardless of what you think I believe, I am a good man. And my ordination, my motto that I took was never for myself. I do nothing for myself. Everything I do is to serve a greater purpose. And I'm a teacher, bro. And the bottom line is to be a good man, bro. And that's honestly what I endeavor to do.
I got like 2 more questions for you, Jason, and we'll let you go because we already kept you up an hour or so. But my question would be like, when you meet new people, whether it be female, male, or whatever, how long would you say before you tell them, hey, by the way, I'm a Satanist?
It's okay, because I have a lot of tattoos. My body's covered in pentagrams. I have images in my back, my arms, my chest, my stomach. I do not, however, exhibit these images. I generally keep it covered up. those were only meant to make my body good. All of us are temples, and to be filled with those entities, which we call, right. And
Yes.
so that's why I have on my tattoo. All my tattoos, that they're hidden, not so humans can see them, but so demons can see them, and they're in honor by a temple. Also, to when people do see them, it will attract those who are meant to come to me, because all things happen as they should, bro. They all happen as they should, and those who are meant to be attracted to me will be attracted, and they'll listen to our teachings, bro. And so part of the reason for my tattoos was to bring them to us, And I I I I see people's souls, bro. I see whether they're white or black, and if I think their soul is different from what I would not say why is good or black is bad. I would just see I see who they are, and there are times while I tell them, well, they just meditate and do this, it's not again, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want anybody to go crazy. I don't want to, because it just happened, bro. And so I try to differentiate between who I initiate.
Gotcha. So I got one more thing. We were talking earlier about, do what thou will, like Crowley was saying, and if you think about it, you can do it. Do you believe in manifest destiny?
So everyone has destiny, bro. It's not set in stone. We can fail on the destiny for birth, because before every soul incarnates, they decide kind of the path they're gonna take, because life is a school, bro. We're here for self evolution. We're here to learn and gain experience. All the vicissitudes of life are meant to make us evolve as better entities, right? And so there are different paths that may become potential outcomes in entities' existence upon this earth. And sometimes they follow as they are told, sometimes they do not. But it's a learning experience, bro. And either succeed or fail, it's evolution, bro. And the main goal is to evolve to become united with God, bro. Whichever side you decide to go with, because I do believe in dualism. There are two gods, not one. There's two. And it's whatever side you're on. That's that's it. But destiny is real. But again, not everyone will fulfill their destiny. It's possible to fail. Do you not push yourself, so to speak? And we teach our initiates to push yourself and make that shit happen, because this is your destiny, and do it.
Okay. Well,
anybody else got any questions before we wrap it up?
Anybody got any other questions right now?
No, we good?
Okay.
Nah, man, everything love, man. Appreciate this. This was very insightful. We got to do more like this.
Yes, sir.
Jason, thank you very much for coming on tonight. It was good having some talks with you this week. If you'd like to come on in the future, just let us know.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob. If I may, my book is the Satanic Manifesto and Declaration of War. It's available on Amazon, hardcover ebook. I was giving away for free for a number of days. I don't care about money. I was offering to whoever wanted it. The Satanic Manifesto, a Declaration of War. It has all my teachings, my philosophies, my principles, and guidance to become more than what you are. And I appreciate you, gentlemen, for having me on your show. It's been an excellent conversation. I've enjoyed being here. And I shall return. Do you so desire?
Thank you very much, Jason.
Yes, sir.
Salute, brother.
And bless you, gentlemen. Goodbye. All right.
Goodbye.
All right.
Peace.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Hey, I think that was a decent show. Eric K, you want to take us out or what?
Yeah. Hey, listen. Hey, we don't discriminate over here. That's for sure. That was a crazy interview for sure. I can say the least. I did see somebody out here that wanted to get at Evan, but I see she went off, so she'll probably get you afterwards.
Yeah.
But hey, I appreciate all y'all like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe to YouTube channel. And we appreciate y'all watching the show. We always try to put different views out there. Sometimes it's not always what you see, is what you hear too. So, some of this stuff was insightful, even though we might have disagreements on it, but it's still insightful. So thanks for watching it. Did anybody want to give a shout
Red
out?
too? Appreciate Red jumping off.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. For sure, man. Love y'all boys,
anybody?
man. Shout out to God too. Shout shout out to y'all boys, man. I appreciate y'all being part of the Justice League, man. We're gonna get it cracking. This y'all open. See, now I know we can go everywhere.
Oh,
Yes,
no
sir.
So we
doubt,
finna
man.
go
No
crazy.
doubt.
Yep, we worked on
No
this
Yeah,
last
doubt,
week, and
Red
I
Pill.
figured
You
this was gonna
already
be great.
know. You already know.
thanks. Hell yeah. All right, well shit. Well, Red Pill Crip, man, follow me. All you gotta do is type that in. I'm everywhere, man. Love to let you know podcast, man. Shout out to the team.
No
Yes,
doubt.
yes. Hey, and Red Pill, before you go, man, let them know what days you got the Justice League, so they all know why we got you on here. Tell them what days.
I bet we're gonna be live on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And
Okay.
I might switch that Sunday up just because it's NFL type time, and I know people gonna
Yeah,
be
you
locked
already
into
know.
that. So,
Already
but
know.
yeah, nah, as of right now, we're gonna lock in Tuesdays and Fridays, and then we'll play it by ear on the Sunday. I might pick a different day, but I don't want to run into y'all because I'm trying to be on y'all with Wednesday. My boy Mac Mall on Monday, so we might do like a Thursday or something.
All right. I'm gonna
Okay.
send you a message later.
Okay, bet.
Well,
Yep.
hey, let you know
Hold
podcast.
on, EK. Give your shout out. Who was you giving a shout out to, P?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah. Do that one more time. I didn't see it.
If you didn't see it, the cross. I'm giving my shout outs to God tonight.
All
Got
right. I ain't mad at that. I am not mad at
and
that.
every night.
Not mad at that.
Hey, let you know podcast 61 at gmail.com. Hit us up anytime. Let you know is out. Thanks for watching.
Let you know.